Howdy everyone, Warstarsa here, and today we're going to be looking at METAGAL for the Nintendo Switch. METAGAL is a Mega Man clone, which I can't describe it any other way because you don't even need to look past the cover art to know that's what it is, which you play as a cyborg girl, which you could fool me because I honestly thought, based on the sprite for a while, that it was a man, in which you fight against evil General Creeper to rescue your crater and sisters. Honestly, the story isn't that interesting or original. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat, there are a few things that bother me with this game. After selecting a language, which by the way, it feels that English either isn't the developer's native language or they have poor grammar, I'll touch on that in a minute, it shows you a picture of the controller with all the controls, and you press start to continue. Then we start with a generic opening where the bad guy is taking your sisters and crater. Sound familiar? Then comes the somebody forgot to proofread the dialogue issues. Ray, leave the girls alone, Creeper. Top that off that there are many parts where there is no space between a comma, exclamation mark, or period before many words in dialogue, as if someone forgot that the space bar exists. So finally you reach the menu where you select a file. After another cutscene, you'll be at the first main menu. Okay, I'm gonna say at first I was confused that the game says that this is version 1.62 when it just released, but I did some research and realized that this game has actually been out since 2016 on Steam. Anyway, while we're finally at the point of the menu, I will say that I like the main menu music. The rest of the soundtrack, however, just isn't that memorable. So after selecting main game, we're dropped into the tutorial that teaches you how to play through signs on the ground. Your main moves are jump, attack, and special attack. Your jump, of course, depends on how long you hold the button down, and specials will deplete your energy, requiring it to recharge. If you push forward twice times, oh here look, there's that lovely English again, you can dash, which is useful for long jumps, and then underwater, your jump speed is increased, but movement speed is decreased. The controls are okay, they're responsive and properly functioning, and then we come across what has to be the easiest game boss I have ever encountered. Shoot him repeatedly, jump, shoot him more, jump, keep doing it, even if you do it sloppily and take a lot of hits, he's gonna be no problem. So after you defeat him, you finally unlock the stage select menu where you go through the various stages, saving your sisters and creator before taking on the final boss. I just gotta say that the art is freaking cute. So we start off the first level, which is not too bad at first. Of course, there are some cheap death spots and enemy placements throughout the level, but that is a recurring issue throughout the game. This level is a minor offender compared to the rest. But that's nothing compared to the possibility of glitching out of the map and getting stuck till you eventually die like I did. It's one thing when a game is ridiculously hard, but when the game stops giving you a chance is where I begin to have issues. There's all kinds of places that just aren't fair or reasonable. Hell, there was one place where you had a lower platform with a shield guy on it and a higher platform with a lesser enemy on it. If you chose the higher platform, there's no way to continue. You dash to the right, you won't make the jump and die. You jump, you'll bump into the wall, fall, and die. I mean, going back to it, I think you might have been able to just a little bit nudge your way off onto the lower platform, but it's still like they're forcing your moves. So level design, I like the atmosphere of each level, but the level has some issues. So let's jump further into the level to the next boss, who, by the way, isn't at the end of the level, but rather just right in the frickin' middle. And once again, we have an easy boss. He basically crab walks left to right, and you can either go to the left or the right, and he can't reach you. Hell, you can even just keep jumping in those spots and popping off cheap shots to hit him till he dies. So we've got lousy bosses and cheap enemy placements. As you get further into the game, some of these enemy placements feel like Satan himself decided to be sadistic and become a level designer. Basically, this sets up what is sure to be a repeating pattern across the 8 levels in the game. Then we get to the Gal boss, which has very little AI intelligence. Simply starting off by jumping forward while shooting, which you can even bypass her and she'll continue shooting even when you're behind her. And then she stands with her back against the wall and blocks absolutely everything you fire at her with a shield, while bombarding you with missiles. I swear, shields have to be one of the most overpowered things enemies have in this game. All of this just in the first stage, by the way. So summarized up, we have a mediocre story, a forgettable soundtrack, unbalanced enemies with questionable placements, and bosses that just seem less difficult than the level itself. Now, I know Mega Man, and I know that Mega Man is supposed to be a game where you tough it out and basically get good, But this game doesn't feel like a game where you better your skills to get through. It's torture. I mean, enemies just feel too unbalanced, either being too weak, such as some of the bosses, or too powerful. Heck, you have those jumper enemies that are completely invincible except for when they're attacking you, which they jump up, hit you, and then land again to be completely invincible. Like, you know the mischievous squirrels in that one Geico commercial that are little naughty rats that make a guy wreck? Well, those enemies make you feel just like how I imagine that poor guy felt when he realized that the squirrels just wrecked his car. Sometimes they'll be in the easiest of places to take out, and there won't be a problem at all. And other times they'll just be in the most dickish of places to make a fool of you should you actually try to destroy them, rather than just take a hit or two from them and just bypass them. These are only a few of the issues I've noticed with the game. It's not all bad, but it just feels lacking and overly frustrating at the same time. For something that seems so desperate to want to be its own Mega Man variant, I just expected more. This is my experience though. I hope you find this review helpful, and if you play this game, I hope your experience is better than mine. I'd like to thank Ratalaika Games SL for sending me a review key for this game. This is WarsRC on the Game Clips channel, and I'm out.